Sthapakaya cha dharmasya sarvadharmasvarupine avatara varishtaya Ramakrishnaya te namaha. Yathagnir-dahika shakti Ramakrishne stita hiya sarva vidya swarupam tam sharadam pranamamyaham. Namah Shri Yatirajaya Vivekananda Suraye Satchit Sukha Swarupaya Swamine Tapaharini. Namaste to you all. Last time we studied, discussed about Ratis and Maharatis, Atirati and all this in detail. When our Duryodhana went and saw the army, looking at the huge army and the warriors endowed with so many powers, individually has met, in group and in army dress, with all those capacities expressing how it should have been his feeling. We will not exactly come to a picture of that war field unless we know a little about there, what were the ranks they shared, who were Ratis, who were Atiratis, who were Maharatis, who were beyond. These graded ranks we have studied in the last class. Now just to understand who or what, that gives us a clear picture to meet a person in war. Now Bhishma and Arjuna, suppose, throughout they have a different relationship. They never saw each other as warriors. So normally people arguing, discussing this, that, fighting, generally it is not, all his powers and greatness is not shown. Even when we meet a rich person, he may give us a fine food or some great presents, but what is his worth, what is he having, we cannot know. When the occasion comes, then we will know, is their greatness. So when we come to just to understand the positions of leading warriors, it is at gross physical level we are discussing. Actually, when we see the real worth and capability lies in the grace of God they are carrying, the experience in the war field, Guru's blessings, wishes of holy men and elders, their own virtuous heart that seeks the welfare of all. These are more how the nature backs these people. Finally it comes to when we distill it and find Satyameva Jayate. Last, the truth alone triumphs. To that extent, but just to, and even in the physical level to understand the gradation, how a warrior, each one looked at other in the war field. To look in normal course is different. to look in the war field, it is different. So, what was the ranks? How each one feels about the other, how he respects, how he honors, apart from the personal relationships and normal seeing each other. So we see among the Rathis is the almost, we have seen in the last class, just after the infantry, cavalry and all in that field, a Rathi who can fight with 5,000 infantry at a time, simultaneously, and defeat them. He is Rathi. Now Bhima, Nakula, Sahadeva, Yudhishthira of the Pandavas, except Arjuna, all the four. And then Shikhandi, that is our Drupada's son. Then the 99 Kauravas, except one out of 100, all the 99 Kauravas were Rathis. Only Yutsu joins the Pandava side. He was Atirathi. And all others are Rathis. The lowest rank we can say, then Uttara, Shakuni, Jayadrita, all these are Rathis in the war. Innumerable, a few great ones we are trying to understand. Then Atirathi, the next stage. Atirathi belong Kripacharya, Kritivarma, Yuyutsu, Drishtadyumna, Satyaki, Shishupala, Bhurishrava, all the sons of Draupadi. They were all Atirathis. Though the Pandavas except Arjuna, all were Rathis, their children were Atirathis. Shalya, Kantibhoja, Ghatotkaja, all these are Atirathis. Bhima and Duryodhana, though they are Rathis, they were each was equal to 8 Rathis in opposing. They can 12 Rathis is equal to 1 Atirathi. But they were almost 3/4 of the fulfilling the needs of Atirathi. Then Maharathi. When we come to Maharathi, we see Bhishma, Drona, Arjuna, Ashwatthama, Abhimanyu. Abhimanyu is the youngest one among the Pandavas. He is Maharathi. We saw in last class what is Maharathi. Abhimanyu, one Abhimanyu is equal to 144 Yudhishtiras. He can fight with 144 Atirathis and Rathis. Maharathi means. So Abhimanyu was Maharathi. Then Drupada, Virat, Vrishasena, that's Karna's son. One of the Karna's son. And Drishtaketu, Balarama. All these are Maharathis. And Ati Maharathi. There was in the whole of Mahabharata and other epics also, very rarely we come across the Atirathis. Nobody has displayed the Atirathi who can fight with 12 Maharathis at a time. Nobody was there except, but Vyasa is of the opinion that Krishna was one who displayed himself to be Ati Maharathi. Otherwise, nobody has displayed Ati Maharathi, above one stage above the Maharathi. In the next grade, higher grade, nobody has displayed. This is because Krishna had the Sudarshana Chakra, which is deadlier than Brahmastra, Pashupatastra, and all divine weapons. This is what we call Divyastras. All Divyastras together cannot equal the one, even Pashupatastra. They cannot be equated to Sudarshana Chakra. because of he displays only one place, Shishupala, to destroy Shishupala. There we see him displaying a little of this Atirati. Maharati, of course, we attribute it to only last class we saw, to Shiva as Rudra and Divine Mother as Kali. This we saw, this is the whole picture of the where. And Atirati and Maharati are so many. Ati Maharati, this Krishna and Parashurama. Except these two, we don't see anybody. In Ramayana we see Indrajit, who is Ravana's son, is considered as Ati Maharati. This is the whole picture of when Arjuna sees and says, Atra Shura Mahashvasa, Bhima Arjuna Samayuti, Yodhano Viratascha, Drupadascha Maharata. What was his feeling? He is only Rathi and Maharathis and great people are standing in front of him. Duryodhana. When Duryodhana sees this war field, what would be happening to his heart when he sees all this? That ego suddenly hides behind and a kind of humility appears. But that formerly that mother which was there, a kind of revengeful attitude and all that, starts shivering within. But he has to face. Now where from does he get the energy? Where from he get the strength to face these people? Only wherever everything fails, we go to Guru. So he goes to his Guru and tells about it. A kind of surrender, but behind is I have to defeat them all is there. Anyway, now we just look at the whole Mahabharata war and all, just the glory of the kings. In those days, we do not know exactly when it has happened, how many millions of years behind or what, how many civilizations have passed. We cannot understand all these Purana, because even the Vimana, aeroplanes and all, spacecrafts and all, we see just 100 years behind, or 150 years, that's all. But in that concept itself was not there in Western understanding. Few winged beings like birds, angels were seen. But a plane having that people can sit and move and all was not there. But here we see in Ramayana, Mahabharata, epics and all, even in how the demons, they fought with devatas, the weapons they used, every bit of detail, and war, what is Dharma Yuddha, what is Adharma Yuddha, rules and regulations of the war, and everything was so clear. If you look at the ancient Indian culture or the formation, and which has contributed to the management, engineering, technology and utilization of the imperceptible powers of nature. So you look at the astras they use, the divyastras. Suppose Agni Astra, same arrow, same bow. How to invoke that power? These are unknown to us today. A little devotional way of invoking God for our welfare we do in pujas and this one. But to invoke the powers, that is whole destructive powers of the world, universe, like anything that can be done, we don't have. And if you got it from Rishi Munis like Bharatwaja and Agastya, all these people, Parashurama, these people gave a few to the others. It is so much of tapas and sacrifice is necessary to reach that state. Anyway, when we come to the military setup, just I am giving for information, it's not a part of our subject. Yet, what is Akshohini? We see 18 Akshohini was there. How did they design, or how the formation of the army used to be there? The fundamental army unit is called Patti. And it contains one chariot, of course, warrior will be there, one elephant, on it a warrior will be there, who is equal to 12 horsemen. The horseman will be there with one horse, one elephant, one chariot, and 5 infantry. This group is called one unit, the minimum unit of the army in those days, and is called Patti. And such 3 groups, 3 Pattis, make one Senamukha. 3 groups together is called Senamukha. And 3 such Senamukha becomes one Gulma. 3 Gulmas together becomes one Gana. 3 Ganas together become one Vahini. And 3 Vahinis together become Pritana. And 3 Pritana becomes one Chamu. And 3 Chamus become one Ankini. And 3 Ankinis become one Akshohini. Just imagine how the size of the army or the warriors were designed. Multiples of 3. Patti, Senamukha, Gulma, Gana, Vahini, Chamu, Ankini, Akshohini. This Akshohini is huge. Mahabharata war is measured in terms of the Akshohini. How many warriors, how many elephants, how many horsemen were there. And everything is designed in such a way they don't allow any army to enter from anywhere inside their formation. And at the same time, they can attack the whole group as it is moves forward. This formation, now the one Akshohini in our Mahabharata war, we see 7 Akshohini Pandavas had, and 11 Akshohinis were there in Kaurava side. Totally 18 Akshohinis. In the beginning we have discussed how many Akshohinis will be there, but I have not given these details of how many warriors and all will be there. So one Akshohini contains 21,870 chariots, same amount of elephants, 65,610 horsemen, horse warriors, horses with warriors, and 1,09,350 infantry soldiers who walk on the foot and fight. So one Akshohini means 21,870 chariots, 21,870 elephant rider warriors, Ashvarohi, Gajarohi, and then 65,610 horse people, 1,09,350 infantry. Total 2,18,700 warriors make one Akshohini. And imagine the 18 Akshohini, how huge was that group? The measure in Mahabharata is done with through the Akshohini. So there was totally 18 Akshohinis in Mahabharata war, which means the total combined strength of the army on both sides together was 19,68,300 infantry, which comes to 2 million almost. 2 million infantry, 2 million, both sides together. And 3,93,660 elephants with warriors on it. 1 elephant, 1 warrior. And same amount of chariots. And 1,18,080 horsemen with one warrior. This was the total strength. And totally, if we consider the warriors together, it was 28,73,700 warriors. It amounts to, in US standard, if you have to tell, total number of warriors that were there in Mahabharata was 3 million warriors. 3 million warriors. 2 million were only infantry. 3 million warriors were there in that Mahabharata war. And then out of that, the ending phase we see, the only 12 warriors survived. The rest completely unimaginable. Can you imagine 3 million dead bodies in the war field, 12 surviving, and 18 days war went on. Within 18 days, the 18 Akshohini was destroyed totally, each other killing. What war amounts to, you see, and that much of sacrifice was necessary for Dharma Samsthapana. Because when everything goes beyond and nobody's ego is coming down, the only way it takes a course of nature, destroying each other. When ego dominates, you can see every war where people, if one surrenders, whole millions of people survive. If it doesn't, it is ego clash, and millions are sacrificed for that. So out of 3 million warriors in the Mahabharata war, 12 warriors survive. 8 on the Pandava side and 4 on the Kaurava side. 8 on the Pandava side is Krishna, 5 Pandavas, and then Satyaki, that is Krishna's charioteer was there, who was a mighty warrior. He comes as a warrior. Krishna himself goes as a charioteer for Arjuna. He did not have any charioteer for himself. But his regular charioteer, Satyaki, he was a mighty warrior. He survives. Krishna, Satyaki, Yutsu, who was in Kaurava's side, who comes to the Pandava side before the war begins. These 3 and 5 Pandavas, Krishna, Satyaki, Yutsu, and Pancha Pandavas. 8 people survive on the Pandava side. On Kaurava side, 4 survive. Kripacharya, Ashwathama, Kritavarma, and then Vrishaketu. Vrishaketu is Karna's son. Karna's youngest son, last son of Karna. So all others. Karna also dies. Karna's son alone survives in the war. Ashwathama, Kripa, Kritavarma, and Vrishaketu. These 4 survive. So how the war ends in great tragedy. Now these people are dead. What happens to their family people? All warriors and they are huge kingdom, kings, not ordinary people. All so many kings. Each was a king of a region. They have their own kingdoms. How to only women, old people, disabled, all these people who did not enter the war, they alone survived. These were now apart from warriors, almost equal amount of people, at least half of their people, that group, how many warriors were there? At least half were others who go on shouting and encouraging people, who supply water and food. They will be in different dress and they should not be killed by any warrior. Even by mistake, the horses, they avoid killing. It is between two warriors. They have no right to kill the riding horses. Yet it happens that all these people will also face some arrow left somewhere by someone, may hit somebody who is feeding food, who is treating a patient. A person has fallen down, hit. 4 people come to lift him, take him. These are all a part of the big war field. The medical aids, then the food supplying, water suppliers, the people who carry others who are wounded, medical, all these are not to be killed, but they too will go away. A few may survive, but among the warriors only 12 survive. So this is Mahabharata war. Similarly, Ramayana war, you can see the 2 great wars of Indian continent, Mahabharata and Ramayana, one for Kamini, one for Kanchana. So Thakur says Kamini Kanchana again and again. Sri Ramakrishna says that is the only thing which binds man and makes him fight and destroy. So this is the whole thing about the thing. Now you see the similar war happens within us. The Mahabharata is, now it is the external field. In the war field, the external war is going on, and before the external war is beginning, the internal war has already begun in almost all the warriors. Internal war. What should I do now? Now Arjuna is seeing all his kith and kin standing there with arms. Oh, all my children, all these people are going to die away. What is going to happen? They will be buried. Oh, will this be the phase of our existence? All are gone. What to do with the kingdom or wealth? Already war has begun. Duryodhana is terribly afraid because he is not afraid actually of the warriors, but the guilt within. You walk on the path of dharma, you will not fear with anything in this world. But if you have walked on the path of adharma, the inner guilt itself is going to kill you from within. He has lost all his faith in himself and faith in the divine protection just because he has erred at every step in his life. So, as is our life, as is our efforts to evolve, so will be our fruit. When on the path of evolution, when we are walking, and when we are walking on the path of evolution, two things: you are totally safe in the hands of nature and God, and so many people are going to be benefited by you. You have that love, kindness, because you are evolving. You feel more and more oneness with all others. Last ending, I am everywhere in all the bodies. It's I who is there. Now, Bhagavad Gita, we are studying, is going to kill our inner war and bring harmony in the external world with us. Slowly, as we go with the Krishna's words, this is first chapter of still Mahabharata warfield is continuing now for us. The next second chapter begins with the self-knowledge. This is most essential part of our life, how to manage the inner war and be at peace, be unaffected by the external war that is going on. How to realize God and how to live in this world to realize God. Bhagavad Gita, whole essence of Bhagavad Gita is this. So I'll be typing out and sending these things to you. Just go through once more so that you will have a clear understanding of everything. Then we will enter a little later into the Krishna's words from second chapter. Now just we are trying to introduce actually what we are trying to introduce is Krishna, his words, but in and through the situations we are passing through, the war field. And we need to succeed in this and attain, come out successfully. Yes, for today this much. Om Niranjanam Nityamanantarupam Bhaktanukampa Dhrutavigraham Vai Nishavataram Parameshamidhyam Tam Ramakrishnam Shirasa Namamaha.